welcome back to the Senior Network. I'm Becky Davis, and now I'm being joined by my good friend and colleague, Nona Story, from the Cypress of Hilton Head. Nona is the broker in charge, and she and I work very closely together in sales and marketing at the Cypress. And so welcome, my friend. And we were talking before this morning, actually, about all the phone calls we've been getting from adult children looking at the Cypress for their parents. And I think they're trying to do their homework. And I'm just, I know I get a lot of calls, and you do. So tell us what you advise the adult children when they're looking for their folks.
Well, I think that the most important thing is that that as someone searching for a nice community for their children, that they make sure to visit or talk to people in these different communities and find out what the benefits are to live in these types of communities. We all talk about this conversation that you have with your parents, right? And
we're all dreading it.
Yeah, but if you don't do your homework and if you don't find a benefit in a particular community, you're gonna find it hard to have that conversation, because you almost have to work with your mom and dad, or your mom or your dad, on a personal level. Like, what would be something that my mom would really benefit from if she lived at the Cypress or lived in one of these communities? And so, for instance, the Cypress offers transportation that's like a taxi service.
Right, so if you know where to drive.
Right. Or if you are going to be new to the area and you don't really want your mom or dad driving, how nice is that the Cypress will take you? We have 6 Cadillac sedans, that type of thing. So you have to look at the different benefits that would apply to your parent.
Topics.
Yeah. And the other thing is you have to, and this is my opinion, but you have to come to your parents and you have to talk from an aspect of love.
Oh, of course,
I'm looking out for you, or you don't want your parents to ever think that you are trying to force them to move to an old folks home.
Right.
So if you start quoting things and you kind of sound like it's all factual, and that's not going to work, because they're going to feel like you're kind of forcing them to do something.
So when do you step in? I mean, like, I know there's some, we have conversations about finances and needs, and so, but tell us about that. So,
and I always encourage the adult children to let me do my job.
Right.
I'll give them certain information that will help them. I like to help them talk to their parent. But then there's a point where I need to step in, because a lot of times, frankly, the parent is going to listen to a third party rather than their own child.
No kidding, right?
Right?
Yeah.
We see it all the time.
Yeah.
And
you're the expert.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And again, they're going to listen to me sometimes before their children, because again, they think their children are pushing them into something that they may not want.
Yeah, and I know we talked in the past about there are so many different options. So I guess it's important for the children to go and really, like you said, assess their parents, determine, and give their parents options. Do you do that? Do you say, when I think you kind of qualify people over the phone too about their level of need.
We do, and we have to ask the tough question.
Tough questions, right?
Is your mom or dad capable of independent living? Because where we are, we cannot accept people who are not. So that's always the first question, out of my mouth.
It's shocking, isn't it, that a lot of people don't realize you have to have a physical.
That's right.
The doctor has to sign off that you can live independently.
Exactly.
And then, of course, as we know, we always say 5 years too early rather than 5 minutes too late.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Don't you get calls? And they'll say, "Well, I'm looking for assisted living Well, I'm sorry, that's not going to work.
That's the worst conversation to have too.
Yeah.
Well, Nona, again, I'll see you back at the office. This has been wonderful,
good.
And thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us here at the Senior Network. We'll see you next time, where we'll talk about all things senior, all things senior living, and all things related to senior services. Thanks, and bye for now.